fine people into the Stokastic Hall of Fame and give away a bunch of free memberships to Stokastic Plus Platinum. All you need to do to get up here, to have us brag for you, and to get your free month is download the Stokastic profile picture at stokastic.com/avatar. We got a sexy new avatar up there now too, so make sure to change yours if you haven't yet. And then tweet your wins at Stokastic HOF on Twitter and win a free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum when your lineup finishes top 3 in a field of 5,000 or more. Let's get into it. First up, monster win by Rich Green here. $50,000 on that insanely odd 3-game 10 p.m. tip-off slate for the NBA. Using the tools and projections at Stokastic, we got the takedown as well as 3 other members finishing in the top 10. You love to see it. You also love to see D. Sella with a $50K finish, checking off winning a large field tournament for the first time. Day one of owning the Stokastic Platinum. Worked out well, to say the least. Big shout out to Adam Scher, Greg Ehrenberg, Josh Ingeman, and all the others for the daily shows as well. A boatload of knowledge to be had, says D. Sella. And then our boy Low Budget DFS. What are the odds of having 20 entries with 47,000 field and tying yourself for first place with 2 different lineups? Yeah, I don't know. What I do know is that's awesome. Chop it first with yourself. I noticed too, it's a 2v2 where 2 players in completely different ways totaled 93 fantasy points. So congratulations, man. What a way to take that down. And then EJ, a very simple at Stokastic Hall of Fame $2,000 win. Not sure if that username is G1Z.
Us 5 likes already. Only 12 people here, 5 likes, 6 likes now. 50% like this show before we even start talking. Kind of love it. What's happening, Stokastic basketball fans? My name's Trey McBride. I'm definitely going to score 2 touchdowns tonight. If you're watching the last show about the football picks for No House Advantage, you know what I'm talking about. My name's actually Terry McBride. I work at Stokastic. I don't play in the NFL, unfortunately, but I kind of like Eitan Shander's picks from our last show. We're here to break down the NBA slate on No House Advantage tonight. I'm joined by my pal Gundacker. Gun, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. Just waking up and getting ready to research some basketball and hopefully make some money tonight.
Yeah, man. I had a similar kind of a day. Slept till about 2:00 this afternoon. Went out. We have an annual tradition in my friends group where we do like a fake Thanksgiving, right? We feel like we invented it because we've been doing it for like 20 years or so, but I'm sure people have been doing it forever and a day, right? But ours goes back a long way. It was yesterday. Had a couple beers, had a good time, some turkey and everything, but I got back home and I was just done for. I passed out and I was out cold all night long and into this afternoon, kept hitting the old snooze, got up to let the dog out, but that's about it. So yeah, I think we're both jumping into this one with both feet for the show here. And are you seeing anything off the top here that's kind of like standing out to you as far as this slate goes, other than the fact that it looks like the world is either out or questionable tonight?
Yeah, very long laundry list of outs and questionables, but it looks like one of those slates where Golden State has decided to nuke everything. So that'd be fun for the DFS side, but that's what we were talking about last week is the more news, the better it is for us playing NHA. So as frustrating as that can be for our DK and FanDuel side of the world. It just means more money and less decisions for NHA. So I do like that aspect of it. But yeah, Golden State skeleton crew, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're talking no Steph, no Clay, no Draymond, with a Q tag on Wiggins and on Looney as well. So that's going to get really thin really fast. But like you're saying, it does create some interesting opportunities. One of our big picks today is Jordan Poole. We've got several opportunities for him up toward the top of the board. So that's kind of how you play NHA. These are static lines that come out in the morning. They're basically like salaries for DFS type contests. You go in, they create opportunities for us. So with these big percentages, you lock those in up at the top like your cheap value plays, and you go on from there. So good board today. We've got a few in the 90s on both sides, both the overs and the unders. So we'll dig into all that. We'll talk about No House Advantage a little bit in the next couple of minutes, gang. But if you guys haven't played over there, it's a great site. We do shows for them 3 days a week now. We've got free picks and free lineups up at the site to help you build out your lineup cards. You can play against the field or against the house to win 20x your entry fee. It's a great site. It's all prop based. They've got stuff over the World Cup right now, which is going on, which we were just talking about behind the scenes. All sorts of things going on at NHA. So we'll do the full plug in a little bit, but let's get into it. Hit the like, the subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, all of our different shows come out in podcast form as well. So if you guys are looking, jumping in the car, taking the dog out for a walk, something like that, download us as a podcast. Make sure you give us a 5-star review when you do that, because it's going to be a good show, and hopefully we're going to help you make a little bit of money. Gun, let's dive in. I want to start us off on the overs because, like we said, we do have a 99%er sitting up at the top of the board on the overs. Let's talk about Jordan Poole and his ability to get beyond 2.5 assists tonight in that thinned out Golden State rotation.
Yeah, the assists and the points, I think, is the two spots we'll be looking at. I mean, he's going to be a primary ball handler with a ton of minutes coming his way. So 2.5, that he will probably clear that by halftime, and perhaps the same for points. So either one of those, flip a coin. I might just I don't know. I might lean points just because I know he'll probably take 25 shots tonight, but 2.5 assists is free. So I either one of them, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, we're calling the assists one a 99.6%er, right? We've got him projected at 6.4 over the 2.5 line. His average under normal circumstances in 28.1 minutes a game this season is 4.5. Right. So we're looking for they're basically having his average in a situation where he's going to have the ball in his hands the entire game and be the guy for this team. So love that one. Totally with you on the points too. It's sitting at 13.5. That's 2 points below his regular average under normal circumstances. He's averaging 15.5 a game in 28.1 minutes. So giving him 35.4 minutes, everything in the world to do. I love both of those. They're both, that one's sitting 93.4% on our board, but I mean, that one feels just as strong as the other one. He would have to have an atrocious shooting night to not get there. What about if assuming he does play, we've also got Andrew Wiggins on the board at a 93%er for 3-pointers made, 1.5. We've got him projected out at 3.4. What do you think of that one, assuming that Wiggins plays?
Yeah, that's part of the Warriors mantra, chuck threes. And Klay Thompson, I don't know if you saw what Klay Thompson did yesterday, but he had a Klay day. I missed
Klay. It was all football all the time at that party. I didn't even get a chance to make lineups, so I missed Klay and what he did. What did he end up doing?
Once a year, Klay Thompson likes to go absolutely nuclear.
Love those days.
And yesterday was that day. I think he hit 10 threes when it was all done. Yeah, he had 10 threes. He had 41 points on 36 minutes played. Didn't do much else peripheral-wise. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, couple steals. But yeah, a big 40-plus point game with 10 threes. So you think about Curry, Klay Thompson not playing today, how many threes they shoot as a team. Maybe they're not going to fill 1-to-1, but this is still going to be a 3-point launching team. So if Andrew Wiggins does play, and it correlates well with our Jordan Poole assist prop, I think 1.5 is certainly a line I would jam the over. 11, 8, and 6 3-point attempts in his last couple of games. This matchup, fine. This is not really a matchup based decision because of the volume being so low. But yeah, I think when it comes to shot volume, Wiggins might be second to only Poole if he did play.
Yeah, that's the thing we got to keep our eye on. Just watch the news, make sure that he's going to be in the game. But if he is, taking under normal circumstances 6.6 a game, making 2.8. We're already there, and it's another guy who's just going to have more to do, like you said, and there's going to be more opportunities to chuck those threes that normally Steph and Clay are taking. Somebody's going to have to take them. It's not like they're going to go out and play a completely different brand of basketball. It's just different guys are going to be taking those looks. We've also got Jordan Poole's PRA and his three-pointers made sitting above 90%. Those are both in the 92 range. The PRA, I think, kind of takes care of itself based on everything that we talked about before. It's basically the same kind of a bet. It's sitting at a very comfortable number at 22.5. We've got it projected out to 32.9. His threes is sitting at 1.5. That's another one that just seems really, really meaty for us to take advantage of. He's a guy, he's taking 6.5 a game, making 2.2 a game under normal circumstances again. So that one just feeds right in. So those main picks from the Warriors, I think, are go-tos on the over side of things for people. But then if we flip the script to the unders side of things, we see a guy who, I wouldn't necessarily have expected this top of my head, but Colin Sexton, his PRA, his rebounds, his threes made, and his assists are all sitting 87% or higher to go under. And it's a game where they're missing a few pieces. So I was thinking maybe Sexton would have more to do out there today. No Mike Conley and no Rudy Gay, of course, but no Conley tonight, I would have thought would lead to more opportunity for Sexton. But it looks like we've got him pretty strong to go under here. So what are you thinking of the Sexton props?
Yeah, I mean, Conley's absence certainly might open up a couple more minutes. We've seen Malik Beasley kind of flourish here as a scorer and a rotating guard. So him, Jordan Clarkson, both there to, I think, present enough pushback at that 30.5 line. 30.5 is kind of like a beefy lineup for a backup guard, or a beefy line for a backup guard. So even if, that 23 goes up a little bit, I still think the under on 30.5 is more likely. Even if it's at worst, I wouldn't put that at like maybe 85%, right? 92 might be lofty, but I still think it's a strong lean on the under at 30.5. That's a big line.
Yeah. I mean, that's looking at a very productive, starters kind of a game. And in looking at Sexton, what he's done so far this season, not really a major piece, playing 21.7 minutes a game, putting up a 17.6 PRA in that. So yeah, to your point, we've got him projected out 29.6 minutes. I don't think we're figuring that it's going to be another, an additional 13 on the PRA in those additional minutes. So it does make sense that it's trending up toward the top. What about some of the individual ones, like the 2.5 threes made? We've got him projected at 1.15. Normal circumstances, it looks like he's taking that was Jalen Suggs. Looks like he's taking 2.7 a game, making 1. So it is, basically another 3.5 on top of what he's doing a game. Do you see him taking more volume based on the additional minutes and no Conley, or is that just going to, kind of be a rotation piece and he's just going to see more time and do his normal thing?
Yeah, I think Conley doesn't really represent a lot of shot volume being removed. And Malik Beasley and Jordan Clarkson, if there's any shot volume to make up, I think they'll compensate. So yeah, I don't really sweat that. I think that those low lines, I'm always scared to sweat just because, guy gets hot, you get heat checked in the third quarter, something like that. So I'd be less inclined to hit that 3-point under when the PRA is what it is, but I would also agree that the under looks fine.
All right. Yeah. I think that one's kind of how I come down on that, right? It's not one that's really exciting me because he could trip over himself and make 3 threes if he's getting a couple extra looks. But at the same time, it does math out fairly well there. One that's sitting in between some of the Colin Sexton ones is one I spoiled a moment ago when I accidentally read his 3-point volume. But Jalen Suggs, PRA, sitting at 30.5, another 87% up at the top of the board. Looks like a situation where we've got another Q tag on Wendell Carter, and there's still going to be missing Banchero, still going to be missing Anthony, Fultz, Isaac, Wagner, all these different pieces. So just with a few, moving parts missing, he's going to be basically in his normal role, but a guy who's going to have the ball in his hands, be able to do whatever he wants out there. What are you seeing for Jalen Suggs? Is this a situation that's, that's created by minutes, or do they just make this a big line for him and put something on the board for us?
I think it's overshooting a line, but I don't have the warm and fuzzies if Wendell Carter doesn't play, Banchero's still down, Cole Anthony's still down. This is a repeat of a matchup from the very last game, and he did hit the under, but he also shot 5 for 12. So I'm a little bit trepidatious because I've been picking on the Pacers game after game after game, poorest defense, fast paced offense. So again, I would lean with the under. If I had to place a percentage, 87 might be a little bit higher than what I would place on it, but I'm still leaning the under. But if Wendell Carter didn't go, I'd be really, really scared.
Knock it down a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, another one where we're going to be keeping our eye on the news, and that's going to be the case with basically every single game on the board today for DFS, for No House Advantage. A lot of cute tags, a lot of interesting stuff. It's basically like spring NBA at this point, and we've gotten there early, so I'm kind of scared to see what we're going to be doing in March and April. But let's talk real quick. No House Advantage here. They're bringing you the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. It's really exciting, fun way to play. It's all prop based. You don't have to play against the field. You can play in a versus the house contest, or you can play against the field and build out these cards with the versus the field picks that we're talking about today. The against the house contest is more like sports book lines, a little bit tighter, a little bit tougher, but if you play them and you hit all your picks, you win 20 times your entry fee. On the versus the field contest, you can win up to 25 grand in cash. They work kind of like a tournament where everybody's filling out lineups. We're ranking these picks by confidence, and then we go and play the games and we see how it all comes out in the wash. If you win, 25 grand up top, not too bad. You can download the app, you choose the contest, select your props, climb the leaderboard when you make the correct picks. It's got props for NFL, NBA, college football, and the World Cup all going on. You can choose matchups across individual sports. You can sign up now. There's a link down there in the description somewhere. We give you a first match deposit bonus over there too, up to $50. So that's not too bad if you're using our link. So make sure you're going through that. And if you go over to Stokastic, we've got lineup generators. We've got projections. That's where these numbers that Gunn and I are talking about, where we're getting just pure 99%. This seems pretty damn probable that one of these is going to hit, right? Those are all listed for you up on the website over at Stokastic. So you can put these lineup cards together very, very easily for No House Advantage. Take advantage of that, guys. Go over there. They're running contests with Overlay every single day as a marketing tool, trying to get people over to the site, trying to build up their brand a little bit. It is a great way to build a bankroll. When there's Overlay on the board, go and get it. Chase it. That is where you're going to be making your money. It's the best way to make money in fantasy sports. So just run this down one more time. 25 grand in cash for the versus the field, 20 times your entry fee for the versus the house, free projections, free optimal lineups, $50 deposit match bonus. What are you guys waiting for? Go over to No House Advantage. Check them out today. Gunn, we've got some more stuff on the board. Let's flop back over to the overs. There's got to be a couple good overs to talk about. We talked about all the Jordan Poole stuff. Let's jump to a guy that you just brought up his team as one that you potentially like to attack. High-paced spot. Guy who burned me the other night because I didn't think he was going to play, and he ended up coming out and putting up the biggest fantasy score of the night, and I didn't have enough of them. Mr. Tyrese Halliburton. His line sitting at 8.5 assists. We've got that as a 90%er to go over. What do you think of that one?
Yeah. Halliburton leads the world in potential assists per game at 20.5, averaging, I think, 10.5 assists per game. This guy he likes to set up shots for his teammates. I like to run him with Miles Turner at times. I strongly lean the over all the time, every time, especially a 8.5 line. This guy is just a facilitator. So I'm in full agreement with the over on this one.
Yeah, gotta like that one a lot. Sitting at a 46.7% assist percentage for the season, averaging 10.5 in his 34 minutes a game. Nothing not to like. It seems like we're well over just if he goes out and does his normal thing. What about another assist line coming at us? Actually, two of them on the board here. Take them both. We've got Marcus Smart over 4.5 assists, and we've got Jordan Clarkson over 3.5 assists. What do you think of each of those, and do you like one better than the other?
Yeah, they both make a lot of sense. With Marcus Smart, I believe there was a little stretch where we've seen some games where Brogdon missed, but I think I'm looking at everyone in today: Smart, Brogdon, Derek White. So I still lean the over there, but I definitely like the Jordan Clarkson one more. You mentioned Mike Conley being out tonight, and we said Conley doesn't leave a lot of shots on the table, but he does leave some assists. He's a guy that's representing 8 assists per game. So a guy like Jordan Clarkson, and we talked about the emergence of Malik Beasley, correlates well with that thought. And Clarkson's a guy that's already averaging over 4.5 assists per game as is. So kind of like the Jordan Poole line, where his average is already the over game to game. And now you take out their best facilitator, he's going to have to compensate for some of that. So I much prefer, like in the 1v1, I much prefer the Clarkson assist line to the Marcus Smart one, but I think they're both live.
Yeah, I agree. Just on that narrative sense, right? And it's a narrative with like some numbers behind it, obviously. But we're just saying everything that we've said about these guys are hitting these over-unders on their average, what they normally do out there. So if we're completely changing the scenario, giving them more to do, it seems very, very likely that he's going to get just carried up above those marks. Let's look down the board a little bit. We do have a guy that's come up a few times, so let's throw him into the mix here. Malik Beasley, threes made, 2.5 is the line. What do you like on that one?
Yeah, correlates with our Clarkson assist over, and Beasley's just been getting it done, ladies. We've seen double-digit shot attempts from him in every game since November 9th, and we've got up to 17 and 18 shot attempts his last 2 games. Maybe over-efficient overall, but a bulk of his shots are from downtown. Think about this, 18 shot attempts against Portland, 14 of them were 3-point attempts. So
that's the volume we want.
Yeah, all he does is chuck threes, essentially. So yeah, I would heavily lean the over there. Correlates well with our Jordan Clarkson prop, and it just makes sense.
Yep, and shooting 43% for the season from 3 right now. So, off to a nice start for his 3-point shooting for the season, taking 7.5 a game, making 3.2. So I think we're pretty comfortably there, especially on the idea yet again of more to do out on the court tonight. So let's take a look. We'll flip back over to some unders here. I'm sure there's some more here. That's an interesting one. Jason Tatum, under 9.5 rebounds. We've got him projected to go about 2 rebounds under that, 85% for the under. Just thinking about a player like Tatum, is that one that you want to chase as far as the rebounds go? Does that seem off, seem high to you?
Yeah, I'm always scared to sweat unders on high usage studs like a Jason Tatum. Looking at Chicago's overall rebound rate, they're below average, so that's a little bit scarier. They have a 50% overall rebound rate, but for the most part, I guess if that front court's going to be healthy, like I understand why the projection is what it is. He's only averaging 7.5 rebounds per game as is, but that's certainly not a warm or fuzzy one, and that would probably be one of the lower confidence ones that I rotate through below the aforementioned high confidence ones we've already touched on.
Yep, I think I agree with that totally as far as how to use that pick. I do think that we're probably there. He's averaging around what the projection that we've got is, but an extra 2 rebounds, that's something that could just fall into a player like Jason Tatum's hands fairly easily. So it's not one I love the chase there. Are there any that do stand out to you in terms of some of these unders? We've got a Kawhi PRA under. We've got Larry Markkinen going under on the rebounds. Benedict Mathurin under on the rebounds. Markkinen on a PRA. Hart on a PRA. What do those stand out to you? Those are all the 80% aboves.
So I think the most intriguing one for me right now is the Kawhi Leonard under. Kawhi's been back for 2 games. Now the last game was a fourth quarter blowout where the starters missed half of the fourth quarter. Kawhi got to 22 minutes. The game before against the Mavericks, much more competitive, and there was a stretch in the fourth quarter where was it the Mavericks game? No, it wasn't the Mavericks game. Kawhi's minutes is something that I don't think it's going to be too aggressive for the next couple of games. I think they're going to slow roll it. And I think as long as they're healthy, like Paul George, Reggie Jackson, John Wall, they have a lot of guys to fill a couple of minutes here and there in that rotation. And I think even if Kawhi's a point, rebound, assist per minute, I don't think he gets to that minute. Like I don't apply it for 31.5 minutes. So yeah, I kind of agree with the under there at an 86% probability of cashing. So I would be interested in that.
Yeah, it just seems a little bit slow to get off the launching pad, I think, for him when he's been out on the court. And I think, like you said, they're just kind of slow rolling his minutes and the allocation as he comes back. And there's no real good reason to press him too much. Is there any impact? We do have a Q tag on Paul George. It seems like he's probably going to play. I don't think he was that badly hurt. But if Paul George didn't go, would you see him maybe trending over 30 minutes? Or you still think he ends up around like the 24, 26 mark?
I definitely think it's more likely. For some reason, the rotation site that I use for minutes doesn't have the game on the 17th. But I remember there was a stretch in the fourth quarter for Kawhi where like Reggie Jackson played over him. It was some weird sub. I have to go find an alternate. But I think it's more likely that would happen. And like I said, because of the blowout in the last game, there's a case that maybe 6-7 minutes were left on the table in the fourth quarter. But even if like we meet in the middle at like 5, he was only likely going to get to like 27 minutes. So I'm sure the plan is for him to be able to build up to 30, but with Kawhi's recent history, there should be no sense of urgency to do that. Don't rush it. So if Paul George were to be down, I'm way more concerned, especially about his per minute production, because then he likely leads the team in usage while he's out there. But if Paul George does go, then I just think there's too many mouths to feed to expect him to hit the over at any high clip. So
I think that makes total sense. So another one where just maybe keep a loose eye on the news, and I don't think it's one where it would necessarily completely take it off the board. I think it would just knock it down in my esteem here, maybe below some of these other like high 70s type ones. One that just jumped out at me because he's playing against my New York Knicks in a home game in Oklahoma City. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 6.5 rebound prop. It says 76% are on our board to go under, but I'm going to play the narrative game. SGA just smokes the Knicks when he plays them. I think that seems like one where it's a little too tight for my liking. I don't know that I would use that one at 76%. There just seems like a lot of more meat on the bone in terms of some of these other picks. Do you like that Shea one to go under 6.5 rebounds?
Odds wise, yes, but just another one of those high usage, high minute guys that I wouldn't be warm and fuzzy on. Looking at the game log, right? I believe he's only cleared that once this season. A lot of 6s, and then you're really sweating. But with rebounding guards like Giddey out there, and then that front court, it's been a carousel of who's that. It's just a kind of a scary spot to be. But I would lean with the projection on the under, but I'm with you. This guy plays too many minutes and does too much for me to want to use that as like anything above a 3 or 4 confidence point.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not like I'm saying I don't think that it's going to go under. I do agree that, projection wise, he's averaging 4.1. We've got him projected out at 5.28. So we've actually got him projected over what he's been averaging for the matchup and everything here. I just don't love it with that thin and a guy who's going to be playing that much out on the court and just is that important to that team. So not one that I would want to chase too much other than bumping it down card and using it in the 2-3 spots. Anything else really jumping off the board on the unders? We've got 2 or 3 minutes left to go here. Let's flop back to the overs then. Let's take a look.
There's some weird names, like a bunch of average role player names, which is where the money's at. But I am a guy that likes the overs a little bit more. They're more fun.
Yep. Yeah, it's always more fun to root for the overs, root for things to happen, not to not happen. It's those are never the way I like to go. So let's look at some of these ones in the 70s here, because we do need those down card picks that we've talked about. How about Darius Garland? Interesting player, a points prop of 18.5. We've got that right around 75% to go over. We've seen Garland and his ability to go nuclear whenever the situation presents itself. So what do you think of Garland in this one?
Yeah, averaging 24 points per game right now. I would definitely lean that. He's another guy that usually when I target Garland player props, it is on the assist. But I didn't realize he was such an impactful scorer. Maybe that stretch without Donovan Mitchell helped us. But hey, 25 points against Miami, 41 against Charlotte. So yeah, I would lean with the projection on the over, and he's been getting to the foul stripe at a decent clip, 7, 8, 13, 3 of his last 4 games. So a couple free points right there to pad it up.
Yep, I think that one is a good one to chase. And all the point scoring has just been there for him. I don't know if that beeping is me or from something from the production. Something over here is beeping. I don't know what it is. If the screen goes dark after an exploding sound, you know what happened to me, guys. Mike's waving his hands in the air. He doesn't know what that is either. Let's talk about one that kind of dovetails with that. And it's actually the opposite of what you said a second ago. Donovan Mitchell also on the board for the assists prop, sitting at it's a 4.5 line. We've got him around 75% to go over the 4.5. So like you said, you normally think Garland assists, Mitchell scoring, but we've got him reversed and looking kind of good. What do you think about Mitchell picking up those assists?
I mean, it makes sense for the correlation there. Mitchell, I guess I'm just stuck in my Utah ways where he's the ball hog. Um, I'm not comfortable with it. I would rather to flip it, but I would still lean with the over, like the projection says. Hey, what about FCA's over? If you're scared of his unders on rebounds, what about his over on points?
Over on points sitting at 26.5. He's going to get that. I'd have that ranked higher. We've got him projected at 30.96 points and a 72%er to go over. Dude's averaging 31-1 for the season in 36 minutes a game. And again, he's playing the Knicks at home tonight. He's going to go over that one. I'm pretty confident. I would bump that up card, I think. What do you think on that one?
Yeah, I'm with you. This guy's just been a bucket for the Thunder. 30 plus points a game. So we got a little bit of a cushion between then. And if he's going to continue his well play against the Knicks, I'm in on the over.
I think that's a spot. We'll round that out with one more from that Knicks game just to make me feel better. Julius Randle, 3-pointers made over under 1.5. It's not the strongest pick on the board, but it's the only Knicks pick I spotted.
Yeah, he takes them. I think
sure
he takes them more than maybe people would guess. 4, 7, 10 3-point attempts his last couple games. Only has to make 2.
Yep. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's taking, where's he at? He's taking 6, making 2 a game. So we need him to go out and do what he does, and we're there. Not a player I get all that excited about backing in most circumstances. Kind of wish they hadn't given him that contract, and we had parted ways. Hopefully they'll find a trade for him. With that, anything to tell the people, Gun? Tell them where to find you. Anything to plug? All that.
Twitter, YouTube /Gundacker.
There you go. Guys, if you're looking to play on No House Advantage, make sure that you go over to Stokastic, take advantage of the free projections, the free lineups, everything that we provide over there. It's a great site over at NHA. Again, 25 grand up top in the versus the field. 20 times your entry fee, $50 deposit match over at No House Advantage. We've also got Odd Shopper up. You can use Odd Shopper in the same way to help you find these picks. You can use it to help you find picks over at Sportsbooks as well. Coming up later in the day, a couple of important shows for the rest of the day. NBA Deeper Dive, it's 5 o'clock, NBA Live Before Lock at 6 o'clock, and then NFL Showdown Live Before Lock at 7:15. You can hear all about Trey McBride, my buddy, and how many touchdowns he's going to score us tonight. With that, gang, thanks a lot. Good luck tonight.